Got this little cough that's been bothering me all day. The season is changing around here. The weather's changing, so my voice pattern is changing. Pitch is going up, it's going down. It's interesting. It's interesting to see how the change of weather just changes things. You know, you one moment you're feeling good, the next moment you're like, I just went and took me some emergency, so hopefully I'll be all right. Well, besides all that, right? So today is the day after the big fight, right? So today, yesterday there was a fight last night with Jake Paul and Joshua and Anthony Joshua. You know, it's interesting. So I was talking to a good partner of mine. So I was talking to my partner Estee, right? And we just got off the phone, and it's interesting. Something interesting that he said. He said, "Man, did you see the fight?" He said, "Yo, Bread Talker, did you see that fight last night?" And I said, "Nah, I ain't even watched the fight. I seen the highlights. I seen that boy get his head torn off. Yeah, all that mouth that mouth he was running. Yeah, he ran up on the right one. He said, "Yeah, man, that's interesting, man." I said, "Yeah, yeah, it is interesting." I said, "Yeah, man." He said, "Yeah, you know they made like, it's interesting. He made like $91 million." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I heard about that. I heard they made a lot of money off of that." I said, "It's interesting how this guy is not he's not a top tier fighter. He's not a boxer, right?" I said, "Yo, the business changed. Top tier boxers fought top tier boxers. They didn't fight somebody that was on YouTube or somebody that was just running their mouth. But the thing about this guy, he built an empire, Jake Paul and his brother, Logan. They ran up a bag. They ran up a significant bag off of running their mouth, going on YouTube, challenging people, trolling boxers like Floyd Mayweather, Javante, and they even got an opportunity to even fight Iron Mike Tyson. I don't care what nobody says. That fight was fixed. Mike Tyson was holding back all his punches. Let's be clear. That's why he was biting the glove. When do you ever remember Mike Tyson biting his glove? Not in the nowhere near in the past ever. There's the only time he bit his glove. He was biting his glove because he was reminding himself, if I hit him the wrong way, I might mess this money up. So what he whispered in his ear when the fight was over? "Mike, I got your money." Mike said, "All right, cool." So, but anyway, besides all that, man, I'm having fun, man. I don't know the facts of that fight. I don't want nobody sending me no cease and desist and suing me. I'm a fan, and I know a couple things about boxing. What I do know is what I believe happened, right? Allegedly, or whatever I gotta say. That fight, I don't know. I ain't gonna say it was fixed, but I'm gonna just say Mike Tyson was an Iron Mike Tyson. I don't care how old he was. I seen what he was doing when he was sparring. But anyway, back to the case of last night's fight. This guy is not the most sharpest tool when it comes to boxing. Yes, he can box, but he's not a top tier boxer. However, that didn't stop him from positioning himself in such a way where he can command more than top dollar, more than the average boxers. Like the average boxers or a heavyweight right now isn't getting the same bag. He's getting more of a bag than a heavyweight boxer for the heavyweight championship. These things are like exhibitions, folks. They're like for you to come see. Like, remember when Rocky 3, was it Rocky 3? No, Rocky 4, when Apollo Creed was fighting Ivan Drago, and Ivan Drago was treating it like it's the real thing. That's how Joshua was acting last night, right? Like this is the real thing, and ran through him. But it's an exhibition. It's not the real deal. Just like the Mayweather with the, Conor McGregor. So boxing is in a weird space right now, right? Weird space. You're seeing people boxing, and they're commanding an enormous amount of money. Yet they don't have the skill or credentials that you would believe would be in there. It's not like a Sugar Ray Leonard and marvelous Marvin Hagler or Tyson and Riddick Bowe or Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier or something like that, right? Today's boxing is definitely interesting. You don't need to have all the skill set nowadays. That's what it says to me. What you got to do is make yourself big enough. You got to brand yourself in such a way, however you got to do it, right? I don't approve of a lot of the tactics that people, do. If they got to act foolish, clownish in order to get to the bag, this, it's got to be a limitations on the things that you do, right? To each his own. However you got to do it, whatever it is, all right? Just as long as you don't step on my toes or cause no problems anyway. I regress. But people are getting a significant bag, right? An enormous amount of money. And they may not qualify skill-wise for the main event, for the big fight. They may not have done all of the years of hard work of what it took to be a top tier contender for the belt. They didn't do all that work. But what they did do was they built up a name for themselves. They built up a brand. They didn't allow the obstacle to get in their way. And it's funny. Well, I'm gonna get to my main point in a minute, but I want y'all to keep that in mind. Because it's not about always the skill set, right? It's not always about what you know. Sometimes it's about who you know. And it reminds me when I used to, the jobs I used to look for, I needed a hookup. I needed somebody. In this case, this guy turned himself into the hookup. They built an empire, him and his brother and whoever else, the Paul family. They built up an empire off of trolling, off of making a name for themselves, off of boxing, working out, and just gathering an enormous following. You know what it is for an influencer or somebody to turn themselves into an influencer where they could command 90-something million to box a top tier heavyweight? You'll get your head knocked off for it too, for that much money. He just had a big major fight last year or 2 years ago, fighting Mike Tyson. And got another bag for the Javante. No, they didn't fight. No, that fight got caught off, but doesn't matter. That's an enormous bag. You don't need all the necessary skills all the time. I'm not saying this applies in every situation because that's a 1 out of a million. Right? That guy's a 1 out of a million. I don't know another person that would come out of nowhere and command that kind of bag or purse and be on the A side of a fight. I believe he's on the A side of the fight, not the B side. All right. Sometimes you have to put yourself in position first, regardless of what it takes. You may not have all the know-how. So that reminds me of the business that I'm in, right? So talk about network marketing. The unique thing about the network marketing business model that I'm a part of is that whether I inform people and recruit or show people how to get money in trading, or whether they get money in going out there recruiting other people to make money, you can make a bag on all sides. Most network marketing companies, you have to purchase a product or source. You have to purchase it. Somebody else has to purchase in order for you to make a significant amount of money. And the bigger the purchase, the bigger the commission that comes back your way. What was unique about mine is that I can go into financial markets and I can go get it myself, right? In the meantime, in my journey, what I did was I took my time to develop the skill set and help a few people along the way. Actually, let me reverse that. I didn't even know the skill set, and I still helped a few people. Hey, look, man, I'm a part of this incredible community. I'm a part of this incredible opportunity to learn how to trade. I don't know all the ins outs of it, but they have the things that I need to help me develop the skill to trade. And it was even more of a bigger thing when I actually traded in the market and I made a significant amount of money. Past profits doesn't guarantee future results. But when I made my first $2,500 in less than an hour, and I really didn't know what I did to do that, but push a few buttons and follow a few commands and follow what everybody else was doing, that was it. How do I keep this going? How do I keep this going? That was almost 7 years ago, right? It's almost 6 years ago, quite honestly. But in the meantime, I was helping other people, putting them in position to do the same thing, to duplicate the process. See, it's not about them doing what I did. It's about them learning something, developing in a skill set so they can be successful on their own. It was never about me. It was about, only thing it was about me is me, plug and play, copy, paste, profit, however you want to spin it. I hate this negative. When I hear a negative, somebody is saying something about network marketing, when in all actuality, every business model has it. Now, there's some companies, they may not have operated correctly, but Enron didn't act correctly, right? You know about Enron back in 2000, the major company corporation that caused billions of dollars to be lost in our economy, which led up to the 2007 crisis, 2007, 2008 financial crisis that led us into a recession. Enron has something to do. That was a major company. There was since 2000, since the year 2000 in the United States alone, there has been over 500 banks have closed. Financial institutions, prime real estate, prime business. So when people say that a business or they put a black dot on a whole industry, I call BS. Because every company has a file. I won't say every company, but there's many companies that aren't operating effectively and efficiently. I don't think that everybody's intention was to do it the wrong way, but you got to have good customer service. You got to have people that show up. You can't just go ahead and get a bag and don't help nobody else get a bag. Like, network marketing is a little bit different. You got to go out there and go do some work, right? And whoever told you that you only got to do a little bit of work, the bigger the bag, the bigger the problem that you solved. The bigger the bag that you receive is as big as the problem that you solve. There's been so many problems that I had to solve. And quite honestly, it doesn't mean my bag got bigger. Actually, I've done more than I've ever received. But it wasn't through the company, it was through the work efforts that I put in when I needed to really receive. Because not every sale or a person that came on a board, they didn't stay. If a person don't stay, then I don't get paid. Then everybody else don't get paid. So what do? I got to develop this skill set. I had to get serious about my trading skills. So I had to rely on nobody. I still don't have to rely on anybody. I can go out in the market, get me a 2, 3 grand, 4, 5 grand, or however much, $500, 10 grand, whatever I need to get. And fine. And can I be satisfied with that? Great. But where's the benefit in that? When I know that there's so many people out there that's hungry and starving, right? So I'm going to go back to the beginning when I was talking about people have a hard time, or they claim to have a hard time selling anything or putting other people in position. They feel like I need to know the skill set in order to feel comfortable with sharing. Well, what if you don't develop the skill set? But what if you can develop your salesmanship? Everything is a sell. There's a book by Grant Cardone called Sell or Be Sold. And there was in the first chapter, something became so clear to me when he explained this. He said, everything is a sell. Love is a sell. Love is a sell. It's a commission. You get a commission for love. You get a commission to show up and wake up and be where you need to be. If my relationship, the relationship that you have with your significant other, there's a commission for that. If I don't treat my wife the right way, if I don't show her love, I don't show her affection, if I don't pay into her, right? Pay her attention, if I don't pay her mind, guess what? I get nothing back in return. The commission that I get back in return is zilch. You know what my kids do? My kids ask me for something. You know what that means? I got to go get them something. That's a commission. When a baby cries, right? You know how they get their commission? They get my attention to come on over there. It's just train your mind to think about sales differently. That's what this is all about. You don't have to know everything to make a whole lot of money. There's some guys that there's some men and women in this world that made a whole lot of money. Look, we looking in the White House right now. These guys do not deserve or qualify. I don't care what nobody say. A lot of them do not qualify for the position that they're doing right now. But guess what they're doing? They're running the country and they're getting a good bag out of it. They're making a lot of money, millions of dollars. No checks, no balances. Who's moving the needle right now? Like, who are we fooling? I need to know how I need to know how to trade, and I need to know I gotta become really good at this in order to tell somebody about it. Like, look, you go talk to the man in the White House right now, and I guarantee you there's a lot of things that person doesn't know. It's obvious. But they're in position. Now, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right because there has to be an ethics, right? I'm not saying don't develop the skill set. That's not what I'm saying. I said you should be developing your skill set, but you should be developing your skill sets in all areas, right? This man just made $91 million and he's not a top tier boxer. It was obvious. And I'm glad he got punished because people need to see that. They need to see that flaw in the design of the structure of what they got going on, right? But it didn't stop that person from getting a bag. What's stopping you from getting your bag? Do you have to know all the facts and the answers? You didn't receive a paycheck when you first started that job to get paid in 2 weeks. You got paid in 2 weeks, but you know very little bit about that job. You qualified to get through the door. Great. But over time, you develop the skill set so you can put yourself in position so that you can get a promotion. Network marketing does the same thing. You develop the skill set. Guess what? You get a promotion. You help enough people, help me, help you, help me. You do enough of that. Guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? You get paid. They get paid. They get paid. They get paid. And if a person doesn't put in work on the effort, then they don't get paid. I don't have a problem with somebody up there getting paid because I'm getting paid. Should I be getting the same amount that person getting? No. If that person built out the infrastructure that helps me run a smoother organization and business, I don't mind if that person get theirs because I'm getting mine. But the thing I love about network marketing, I can always surpass that. There's the crab theory for me. It gets eliminated. I don't care who's in my way. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about gossip. I don't care about none of that stuff. All I care about is helping whoever I need to help because that's me. I can't I can't speak for anybody else. What their reason and their why is. All I know is what I was raised on. All I know is what I was developed off of. All I know is what my spirit says. All I know is that I choose to walk in alignment with my purpose to my God. You don't need to know all the facts all the time to get started. All you got to do is get started. And that's it. There's no business model greater than the network marketing model, right? Is it perfect? No. But is it better? Absolutely, yes. Can you develop the skill set? You get the opportunity to control how much money you make. Now, if you don't put in the work, you don't put in the effort, then you don't get anything, right? You don't have no customers. What business is it? Show me a business model where you supply a product or service and you have no customers and you still get paid. Show me a business model when you don't provide a product. What's going to happen with the customer? If the service sucks, guess what happens with the company? It folds. It's the same model that's already out here already. The difference is that you have somebody operating as an independent contractor, and you hope that they are being authentic and helping you grow. Because guess what? In order for you to get your house, it took some marketing to make that happen. In order for you to get your job, there was a promotion campaign that went behind you getting that job. For you to uh get involved with the relationship that you're in with your significant other, guess what? Your application got submitted and she approved of you. And then you got you the benefit and rewards, you got all of the splendors, the trimmings, sir, and vice versa, lady, right? That man was a prize. You didn't just stumble in and he said yes. Yes, is it easier for a man to say yes to a woman, especially if she's gorgeous and she got all the trimmings? Absolutely. But that was a marketing tool that was sold. Ladies do it all the time. They're on Instagram and TikTok and every other social media platform right now. Guess what they're doing? They're showing the goods. They're displaying the products. I don't care how you want to slice it. Cute little bathing suit. Oh, look at me. Guess what? You're selling a product. You're enticing. You're enticing the customer, right? Guy comes on there with a nice pair of abs and muscles and all that. He's enticing. He's enticing his customer. Same thing. Show me something different in the model. All I know is I am privileged because I get to be in a community that is faith-based, accredited community that is leading the pathway for affluent men and women to be successful in their endeavors, not just trading, but to become a better person. I'm in the business of transformation, helping people become the higher version of who they are, just like I did. Trust and believe. This is not the version in front of you that's talking right now. This version wasn't here 8 years ago, 10 years ago, definitely wasn't there 20 years ago. For those that know who I am, if they know who Dre Lavelle is and they don't know who Bread Talk is, y'all know who I am or was and what I've done, but it's all about where I am right now. And I don't discard none of those things that I was. Do I detest some of the stuff? Absolutely. But I've grown from those things. And being a part of the network marketing space allowed that because it heightened my personal and professional development and skills to a whole new level. And I'm very grateful for that because it allowed me to become who I always wanted to be, needed to be. And I chose to be this way because of this space in this community. So when I see people out there talking down on the industry that I've grown so fond of, I got to speak up on it. Yeah, I'm not going to stay silent. Just because you were in a bad situation, just because maybe you had bad intentions, just because maybe you had bad mentors, people that really didn't show, just because you didn't practice good skills or discipline and discretion in your skill set, in your environment and space, because you didn't take it serious. Don't take it out on persons like me that takes it serious and that's about his business or about their business, right? Look at the whole surroundings. Did you fall for the mirage? I didn't fall for the mirage. I decided to carve my own lane within a lane. And I will always continue to do that. I'm the bread talker. I made that because I stand on it. It's not about finance. It's never been about money. It's about the bread of life because God leads me. I'm Christ-led. And that had to be developed. So when people say you got to have it all together in order to make it happen, that's a lie. That's called fear, sir, ma'am. That's fear. And if you choose to live in fear and doubt and denial, that's your prerogative. But fear doesn't live here. We walk through the doors. We walk through the fire. Glory on the other side. Amen. I love waking up and being able to trade in the financial markets. I get the honor and privilege to be able to do so. I get the honor and privilege to help so many men, young men and women, older men and older women become successful and more professional in here and have some fun with it. Trading is fun, y'all. I've really grown to have fun. I want to say over the last 3.5 years, I've had way more fun trading than I did in the early beginning because I really didn't understand all the ins and outs. I know how to push a few buttons. I know how to read the charts a little bit. Market structure, I didn't understand it fully, but it didn't stop me from taking those long nights and staying up a little bit longer to figure it out. That's what I'm going to do. I see, I'm a go-getter. I'm a self-starter. I love it. But you got to turn yourself into something, a higher version of who you are right now. If you truly want what you say you want and you want to do what you say that your mouth is talking about, we want to see the actions here, sir, ma'am. We want to see your actions. How bad do you want it? Holiday is upon us. The end of the year of 2025. What do you want your 2026 to look like? Are you serious about who you saying that you really want to become? Or is it just lip service? Where's your goals? Where's your whiteboard? Where's the community that you're a part of? Are you just doing it by yourself? All right. So listen, again, my name is Dre, the Bread Talker. It's been my honor and privilege. Listen, do me a favor. Down below, I need you to like, share, leave a comment down below. Come along with me on this journey, right? I'm about almost 7 years in right now. I'm going to start doing more of these. Again, we're going to bring it back. We're going to be authentic and transparent, right? Who's coming along with me for this journey? Enjoy your holiday. Just because you don't have all the answers, if you allow yourself to be placed in a space that will allow you to become a higher version of yourself, you will find all of those answers. You just need the right mentorship. You need the right coaches. You need the right push. You need the right vehicle, right? You need the right products and services. You need to be around people that understand and are willing to allow you to grow into whoever it is that you need to become. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like, share, leave a comment down below. Talk to me.